A beautiful afternoon here in Orchard Park, New York, as we get set for this matchup. Temperature will tap out at about 49, they're telling us today. And now the third member of our broadcast team and one of the outstanding reporters of the National Football League, our own Peter Schrager. Peter.
Tim, you always hear about players playing with pain on Sundays. You don't often hear about coaches coaching with pain. And that's what Minnesota Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer will be doing today. Friday, he missed practice with what was considered a minor procedure. Turns out he has kidney stones. And coming on Tuesday, he's going to get surgery to get rid of those. But right now, he is going to be coaching today in extreme discomfort. He still has the kidney stones. So as you keep the status of everybody's health and injuries today, keep an eye on Mike Zimmer. He's going to be coaching with extreme discomfort.
Well, I don't know that I've ever heard of that happening in any game at any level. We did a marvelous visit with him yesterday. He was able to have some good humor about it, but we felt for him even during that process. The Vikings won the toss, elected to receive. Cordero Patterson is back deep. He'll take it from 8 yards deep in the end zone and pays a price. Stopped way back at the 7-yard line. Ron Brooks down there to make the stop for the Bills. As you look at Teddy Bridgewater, the rookie out of Louisville, having to take over when Matt Castle was injured. And this is his first ever road start. And maybe having been in a lot of big collegiate environments in the past will serve him well today, because this is as close to a collegiate environment of the National Football League you can find, outside of maybe Green Bay, Kansas City, and New Orleans. It's loud inside this building. Jarrett McKinn will dot the I. Vikings from their 7-yard line on first down, and it's McKinnon out ahead to 11-yard line, and Brandon Spikes, the middle linebacker for the Bills, made the stop. As you look at this offensive line that has been patchwork of late, Vlad Ducasi being called upon to get the job done at right guard. The anchor is John Sullivan, the veteran of 7 years at Notre Dame. They have been reeling a bit, and they need a quality start. Getting that run game going, as Brendan mentioned, is very important. Markers down as McKinnon takes the pitch and is out ahead past the 20 for a first down at the 22-yard line, but we'll check the flag. Preston Brown ushered him out of bounds.
Offside, defense, number 99. That penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Marcel Darius was the guilty party, so a good run and better field position now for the Vikes, up to the 23-yard line, we'll call it, after a gain of 11. One setback now with a twin tight end look for Minnesota. Bridgewater audible into this play, and it's McKinnon. Another healthy first down gain on the ground as Stephon Gilmore, the former South Carolina Gamecock, makes the stop. This Bills defense is stout up front, Brendan, no question about it. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better front four in the AFC.
The number 1 ranked rushing defense in the league, but they're also the only team that boasts 3 players with 4 or more sacks on the defensive line.
Jerry Hughes has just been outstanding. There's the veteran Kyle Williams. What a plugger he's been. 3 All-Pros on this front four. 2nd and 6. Nice catch. One-hand variety by the veteran Greg Jennings, who spoke so highly of Teddy Bridgewater when we had a chance to visit yesterday. This will be 3rd down, though, only a gain of a yard. The pass was thrown a bit behind him.
Jennings with the quick out pattern. They're getting Bridgewater started early. It started out with 3 runs in the ballgame. Now the quick pass. 3rd down and manageable, exactly where they want to be to build Bridgewater's confidence.
That's exactly what he told us yesterday. If I can stay ahead of the chains, stay away from negative plays, it will be very important, particularly early. McKinnon remains the lone setback. Looking long, there's Jennings. Well covered by Roby, 37. And it'll be a punt formation coming up for Minnesota. Well, he was well protected there, but he does take a blow.
You know, Bridgewater held onto the ball for a little bit on this pass play. He underthrew Roby. He had to get the ball out quick, but there was no negative plays. You can punt the ball and now get some field position.
Jeff Locke will punt it away. Leotis McKelvin is not deep. We're coming after it. Fair catch called for by McKelvin at the 34-yard line. Bills will have it when we come back. Doug Marrone now in his second year with the Bills, geographically perfectly located after coming over from Syracuse. He had been coaching at his alma mater. Actually played for the Vikings briefly back in 1990 before going over to the London Monarchs of the World League. Kyle Orton, the starting quarterback, inserted during the Detroit game, and he takes a sack right off the bat. Pressure coming off the edge from Robinson, 96. And we got a marker down at the 30-yard line. Ed Hockley, our referee, checking on Orton.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense. A shot to the quarterback's head. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Robinson apparently going off the backside, 55. Anthony Barr, apparently that blow was the one that was worthy of the penalty.
UCLA rookie linebacker just making a mistake and hitting Orton in the helmet, which you cannot do.
Yeah, and didn't need it. Didn't have to have it. He was already down.
55 to Mike.
First and 10 now for Kyle, 10-year veteran. They believe is really the answer with this club. Bringing a quarterback presence that's much needed as he goes underneath to Sammy Watkins. Sammy had a tough week against New England. They were calling it lost on Revis Island. Only had 2 catches. This is a game breaker for Buffalo, and they need to get him involved early.
Well, now you see Sammy Watkins finally has some breathing room. He's up against rookie linebacker Barr, and it's just a mismatch underneath. Sammy Watkins outruns him to the edge and picks up an easy first down.
Brett Jackson is coming in running back. Buffalo could use 3 running backs in the same series. They did a week ago. Jackson, more of a north-south guy. Keeps those legs churning. He gets 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. So many young players on this team, and that's why the future is so bright, Brendan.
With Surreal Richardson on the right side, Chantrell Henderson, these guys are massive. They just blow back the defensive line of the Vikings, and it's just easy downhill running. You need to be stout on that Vikings defensive line and hold your ground.
All those are rookies. There are some guys that have only been with the organization for a couple of years, too, that have had tremendous impacts. Second down, 2.
Down. The lady.
Little flare out to Jackson. Lost the football, but was already at the boundary when it came free at the 25-yard line. Jasper Brinkley, who's been pressed into duty with injured backup linebackers behind Chad Greenway, who's also coming back from injury. This is a defense that's been depleted in many respects, but Greenway is back after the ribs injury and also an injury to his left hand.
This Vikings team is young on defense. It's huge to have Greenway back. He is the vocal leader and the spiritual leader on this team.
He's really helped Barr, who is a star with a tremendous ceiling as a young linebacker. Orton going with the screen to his fullback Summers, nothing doing. Well read by Barr, among others.
Now you see Barr's athleticism. He had 2 rough plays early on, and now he's playing man-to-man defense right there on 38. The fullback, he goes and he makes a nice tackle on Summers. He diagnoses the screenplay. He's playing his reads and does his job. That is a good job of football by the young linebacker.
Right in an area of the game that you know quite a bit about, having been part of 2 Super Bowls with Chicago and the champions of the Baltimore Ravens in 2012. Orton looking long. He's got, does he? No, incomplete for Watkins. He went back shoulder as opposed to post. I think that surprised Watkins, who looked to be running and forgetting that the throw was going to go to the back shoulder.
But right here, Watkins, you see him push off right there. you have to call it both ways. If you're going to call the PI on the defense, you equally have to call it on the offense. I'm surprised they didn't throw a flag.
There was plenty of contact. 3rd down 11. Xavier Rhodes, another youngster, a couple of years out of Florida State. Look at that. Vikings want to stay in touch early. There's a quick curl to Hogan, who is a favorite target for Orton. He lost the football. It's on the ground, and it looks like the Vikings have it. They do. He was struggling to get some extra yardage, and it was punched out. And Minnesota's got it at the 11-yard line. They had been having problems early in games, this defense. Not today. Welcome back to Ralph Wilson Stadium with Brendan Ayabadejo, Tim Brando, and Peter Schrager down on the sidelines. Here again is a look. Greenway, Chad Greenway, the veteran, is making the tackle as Hogan is looking for more yardage. Obviously, that says it all. The review is underway. You would think that would stand up, wouldn't you? Robert Blanton comes away with a recovery, number 36 for Minnesota.
It looks like the ball is loose just before the knee goes to the ground. Greenway executing a nice tackle, gets the arm on the ball, rips the ball out.
The ruling on the field stands as called. The ball started to come loose, and the player pushed his arm in and knocked the ball loose. Therefore, the ruling stands. 1st down.
Ed Huckley, not always America's favorite, has given the news. And listen, Ed is correct, I think, in this one. And even the fans here would probably have to say, look, bottom line, that was a good call. No way that indisputable video evidence would overturn the call on the field.
That's the right call, and huge play by the veteran Greenway. He's right back on time to make a difference for his ball club.
1st and 10, Minnesota. And we've got premature movement. Number 75, Matt Khalil, veteran who's really been a bit disappointing lately after being a top 5 pick and a Pro Bowler in his first year, guilty of the false start.
One of the advantages the quarterback has is a hard count. You have an aggressive front 4 by the Buffalo Bills. You want to give him hard counts, get him to jump off sides, but it backfired on Khalil.
That's Jerome Felton. Boy, he burst like a shot out of a cannon for a big game. Stephon Gilmore made the stop.
Felton right here at the bottom of your screen, making the most of the few carries that he gets. Bounces the ball right as the defensive end. Hughes cuts it up the field. Every play is not a pass play. You need to play run before you play the pass.
McKinnon back in the game, the lone setback. Bootleg action for Bridgewater. Pass intended for Chase Ford, reserve tight end. They're without Kyle Rudolph today, the veteran from Notre Dame. He's on the inactive list.
I like what this offense is doing. They're moving the pocket right there for Bridgewater with the rollout, but it's extremely difficult to get a pass play down the field with 6'7" Mario Williams in your face.
Second and 10. Out of the shotgun. And the pass is complete to Greg Jennings. Not a bad idea to get to him. They are trying to get rid of the ball sooner. The reason? Well, a lot of sacks. Minnesota's given up quite a bit the last few weeks. And Detroit had a field day. Brendan, you were there for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Minnesota in their 3 losses, they've given up 20 sacks and 10 turnovers. This is a big problem that they want to correct. We were talking to the coach, and he said that they're going to move the pocket. They're going to make it easy for Bridgewater. They're going to use that run game as well and make him get the ball out of his hands as quick as possible.
Asiata is coming to the backfield now, 44, and he'll take the swing pass. Matt Asiata with a first down and more. Out to the 47-yard line.
Coach Zimmer and Norv Turner, they're dialing up a great game plan. Nice short plays underneath. It's going to take a full team effort. Greg Jennings mentioned the offensive line needs to block, and the receivers, they need to get open. Asiata right there on the nice swing play. Catches the ball easily, runs it up the field. Once again, another first down. They're moving the chains. I like what this offense is doing today early on.
13 yards on that pickup. McKinnon comes in for Asiata. Play fake, Bridgewater running out of time. Markers down, Bridgewater down. Darius is having a tremendous season, and we'll check the flag. And talking with Teddy last night, you got an idea for what a humble young man he is.
There was no foul on the play. It's second down.
You can be humbled in this game, too, as you watch Darius coming through.
On the middle of your screen, you see big Darius, number 99, breaking through the offensive line for his 6th sack of the season. He is a load of a man.
Second down and 20. Cordero Patterson up at the top of your screen. Looks like man coverage. Jerick McKinnon out ahead for a gain of 8. And let's go to Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee.
All right, the Rams off to another good start today against Seattle. Trey Mason, 6-yard score. That was following a 75-yard kick return by Benny Cunningham to set it up. And they lead the Seahawks 7-3. Tim, Brendan, and Peter.
Well, amazing to think what's happened to Seattle of late. It's early in the National Football League season, and you're getting everybody's best shot. Third down and 12. Here in Buffalo, Asiata is in the backfield. Pump fake, Bridgewater running out of time. Decides to just get rid of it. Airmailed it. Thrown for the tight end, Chase Ford.
Good defense by the Buffalo Bills. Everybody's covered down. There's nowhere for Bridgewater to throw the ball. You see Ford is covered at the tight end spot. McKelville has it on lockdown. Too many negative plays on that drive, but it's good that they got the ball out of their territory. And now you're seeing a punt, which isn't a bad thing.
Indeed. But Jackson is back deep. Flags down as he lets it hit, and it will roll inside the 10. Outstanding work by Jeff Lott. Had a stellar debut season. As a rookie, he averaged 44 yards per punt. That one went 48.
You have to look at the good things they did on that drive. There was a couple negative plays, but the first 2 drives of the ball game, the Vikings got the ball inside their 10-yard line.
Number 37. That's enforced half the distance to the goal. Buffalo keeps the ball after enforcement. First down.
Nickel Roby also guilty of a foul, which will back them up even further inside the 5. Darius out to a good start.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Back in Buffalo, the Bills begin on their 3-yard line after the penalty and the marvelous punt by Locke. And Fred Jackson takes it beyond the 5 to about the 7, gain of 4. Jasper Brinkley making the tackle. You know, early on, the Vikings may not have been successful in scoring, but Brendan, they have won the field position so far.
Yeah, and that's what I was alluding to earlier. They received the ball twice now already inside their 10-yard line. They're able to flip the field position, and now you're in a good position right here to flip it once again.
Defensive-minded coaches like Mike Zimmer dig that kind of thing. Play fake, Orton looking long. Well, it appeared that Watkins sort of broke off his route at about the 45-yard line. Harrison Smith was back there covering. And Orton took a shot, too.
Robinson coming off his left defensive end position takes a shot, a clean shot on Kyle Orton. Harrison Smith on the coverage, their leading interceptor for the Minnesota Vikings.
3rd and 6 coming up. Well, he played really well in the win against Detroit when he was inserted. He just went up against a hotter quarterback than Tom Brady last week. On 3rd and 6, the safety valve is Jackson. May be close to a first down at the 14-yard line. I think he got it. Just enough. Sharif Floyd coming over to make the stop. It's a gain of 7.
Fred Jackson so durable on the check down. He cuts back across the grain. He picks up the first down. A little bit of over pursuit by Anthony Barr, the young linebacker that's just fresh playing that stack linebacker position.
C.J. Spiller, who has been receiving some criticism of late, the home run hitter for Buffalo, is coming to the game, and we've got a review underway, I think, perhaps. Maybe a challenge. Could be a challenge on the spot from Mike Zimmer. I believe the red flag has been thrown. He wanted to keep the field position flipped.
Minnesota's challenging the ruling on the field that it was a first down.
Yeah. Once you've got them down deep in their territory, you want to keep them there. Probably not a bad idea to red flag this. We'll be back.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Burger King. For a limited time, get 10 chicken nuggets for just $1.49. And by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
We welcome you back to Orchard Park, New York.
Field stands as called. It is a first down.
That is a very difficult challenge to have overturned whenever you're talking about a spot. But in this case, given the circumstances the Vikings are up against today, I sort of like the idea that Mike Zimmer challenged it.
It's a game of inches, and we'll see if that comes back. You know, losing that timeout and that challenge, if it comes back to bite him in the butt later in the ballgame.
Anthony Booby Dixon is coming to the game. The third back that I mentioned, 5 years out of Mississippi State. He'll take it. Big man Booby up to about the 19-yard line.
And you see Booby Dixon doing what he does well. The big physical running back just puts his head down and bowls forward through 2 defenders.
Chad Greenway making the tackle. Had a lot of help, you know, when
Down! Lady!
Orton with a quick crossing pattern. Little slant to Robert Woods. It should be enough for a first down at the 26-yard line. Oh, he fumbled it. Minnesota may have it. Woods lost it on the way down. He was pretty covered up when it came out. Now that one certainly will be reviewed. Anthony Barr made the hit, or the recovery, I should say. Linval Joseph, among others, were in on the hit of Woods, and boy, that one appeared really close, but maybe not close enough. Just as was the case with the earlier fumble, I don't know that you can
review the ruling on the field that it was a fumble.
I don't know that you can reverse that. What do you think?
It'll be hard. Whatever they call on the field, it'll be hard to reverse what they saw on the field on this one. It's one of those bang-bang plays.
Yeah. We'll return to Buffalo. Young Anthony Barr, who has such a great future. UCLA Bruin. I've got a proud alum up here in the booth with me, Brendan Ayabadejo. And he's been very active early on in this game. Mike Zimmer's club doing exactly what the game plan was all about. Mike Pereira is back in our Los Angeles studios, and Peter Schrager, who you read so often, foxsports.com, and see on Fox Sports 1 down on our sidelines. C.J. Spiller is deep. Oh, he touched that, and he could be in trouble as a result. And the Bills are again stuck inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
That's a tough play right there. You see the miscommunication with Booby Dixon. Was about to receive the ball. Spiller calls him off and the ball goes short. And now once again, Buffalo Bills are pinned back deep in their own territory. It seems like both teams, every time they get the ball, they're pinned back deep in their territory.
2 turnovers committed by Buffalo. Really, the story is you see Spiller hobbling off. He
showed up.
not been delivering of late, although he is the leading ball carrier for this club. He only had 12 touches last week. Fred Jackson is in and takes the swing pass to open this series, and he gets it out to the 15-yard line. Anthony Barr again making the tackle. You know, he told us when we spoke yesterday that when Greenway got hurt, he really had to take on a leadership role. No more as a pass rusher, really, than a guy that would peel off into coverage. He's learned a great deal in the time that he's been with Minnesota with the help of Greenway.
Yeah, good coverage, good tackle on the swing.
55 to Mike. 55 to Mike. Yeah. Lady. What's up?
Quick curl to Spiller. Back into the game. Let's get a game break. Back to Los Angeles and Kirk Minifig.
Well, in Green Bay, it's all Packers so far against Carolina. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. The latest, a 13-yarder from James Starks. And Tim and Brendan, it's 21-0.
Wow. Incredible start there. Ball now at the 18-yard line. 3rd and less than a yard. Fred Jackson will be the setback. They go power with the formation. Jackson may have been stopped short. I don't think he got there.
It looks like it's short. Fred Jackson, just like Kurt Menefee, the college graduate. Good defense right there.
Everson Griffin, among others, leading the way, number 97. And we've got a Bill down on the field. An injured Buffalo Bill. I believe it's Jackson. It is. He's really been their most effective back the last couple of games. Can help you in the passing game as well, but more of a north-south runner. The criticism of Spiller has been that he's tried to bounce it outside a bit too often in trying to make those big plays. Jackson's one of those guys that will square the shoulders and just take it right up in there. And here, that last bump, maybe it's holding it. It might be in a groin region area, perhaps a hamstring. Seems to be the area they're checking.
He's not a guy. You rarely see Fred Jackson go down. He's been a durable guy. He's outlasted Willis McGahee, Marshawn Lynch, and now he's battling for time with C.J. Spiller and Boobie Dixon, but very surprised to see Jackson go down on this play. Hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, this is really a big blow because of the way they've really fashioned this offense since Kyle Orton took over. Spiller has, as I mentioned, been criticized locally and to some extent did not get the ball very much last week at all. Now, Boobie Dixon may see the ball a lot more now as a result of this injury. It is a 4th down. Colton Schmidt will have to boot it away for Buffalo, and Marcus Sherrills is back deep for Minnesota. Time winding down here in the first quarter. Schmidt's boot is a good one, but plenty of room for Sherrills to work with. Pretty good return. He gets it up to the 40-yard line. Time for one play, and that's all here in the first quarter. 53-yard punt and 11-yard return for Sherrills.
Nice stop by Manny Lawson. Nice hang time on that punt. Allowed his punt coverage team to get down there and make a decent stop.
Asiata in the backfield. 3-year man out of Utah. Quality football family he's from. Well, a shallow cross intended for the tight end, but this time Rhett Ellison overthrown by Bridgewater. We've got a late flag coming down. Thrown in an area where you'd consider holding.
I believe he was targeting Rhett Ellison on the play.
Holding defense, number 53. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And that's the end of the first quarter. The Vikings will have it at their own 45 when we come back. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages and a word from your Fox station. Tuesday on Fox, the Fall Classic begins. The Giants continue their quest for their third championship in the last 5 years when they head to Kansas City to take on the amazing Royals, who look to stay unbeaten in these playoffs. Coverage of the World Series begins Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Here in Orchard Park, Tim Brando, Brendan Ayanbadejo, and Peter Schrager. Happy to have you with us. The NFL on Fox. Asiata ahead for about 4. Stopped by Darius. There's Jackson leaving the field. That is horrible news. And we also have a marker down on the field as well that Ed Hockey-Lee is checking on.
5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Manny Lawson guilty of being offsides. Right at the top of your screen there. Moved prematurely.
And that's one of the things Norv Turner wants to do. He wants to get that hard count going. It backfired on them earlier in the first quarter with Khalil jumping off sides. Now they pick it back up, getting Lawson to jump.
This is a big defensive series for Buffalo when you consider field position being what it is. The loss of Fred Jackson. It doesn't look good leaving on the cart that way. And boy, Bridgewater would love to have that screen back. Too strong for Asiata. It'll be 2nd and 5.
And that's a dangerous throw. You always have the possibility on those types of screens when it's a swing pass of passing the ball laterally. And if the ball is not going forward, then it is in fact a fumble. There it was really close. He definitely wants that play back.
Mike Zimmer, boy, so many in this league. We're happy to see him finally get his head coaching opportunity. Wonderful career as a defensive coordinator in so many places. Asiata, the lone setback on 2nd and 5. I think we may have had a timeout.
Timeout, Minnesota. Yep. That's their second.
The sidelines got control of this one before the rookie quarterback could run the play. So a timeout taken.
Timeout.
You know, Zimmer was onto something. He didn't make any changes after last week, giving up 8 sacks against the Lions, keeping his offensive line intact, and they're really doing a great job. So they must have worked on all their techniques and assignments and honed it in, because they're off to a good start in these first 2 quarters.
All right, let's get an update on the Fred Jackson story from our Peter Schrager. Peter?
Yeah, guys, a very dejected sideline here in Buffalo, obviously, and Fred Jackson just left on the cart. It's a groin injury. I'm told he's out for the game, and yet C.J. Spiller just hugging him, and Jackson, who's been a veteran for so long, his head in his hands just does not look good.
He's one of those guys in the locker room that they absolutely love. Thank you, Peter. Underscoring again the importance, even though we're early in this game, of this series for the Buffalo defense. Well, they go Patterson reverse. Trying to get the ball in the fastest guy's hands any way they possibly can. Corey Graham, number 20, ushering him out of bounds.
Patterson actually lined up in the backfield as the second running back. And he's always a threat, whether he's in the backfield or if he's out at wide receiver. But the defensive eyes definitely light up when you see Patterson in the backfield.
Almost went back to college for a minute with a jet sweep.
Right.
3rd down and 2. Asiata, well, you just really are going to have hard times running against that interior alignment. Kyle Williams, 9 years out of LSU, a star from West Monroe, one of the really outstanding athletes, more than just a plugger, a defensive tackle. He's an impact guy.
Let's see if the Vikings go back to the hard count, see if they can pick up a freebie and not have to run a play and get this first down.
4th down, and they go for it. Out of the I formation. Flag down. I think they may have gotten them on the cadence. Did they get a freebie? I think they may have.
If they did, it
12
sure
men
was
on the
fast.
field. Defense.
Oh, wow.
5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Oh, that will not make Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, too happy. They got caught in personnel groupings changes and get the 12 men on the field. Count them up. There they are.
And Tim, I don't know if they were going to run a play right here.
No.
You don't know if they were just going to do the hard count and get him to jump off sides, but they gave it to him. Let him off the hook.
Jarrett McKinnon comes back into the game, so a freebie. First down just outside the 41 of Buffalo. McKinnon burrows to about the 39. Ahead for 2, maybe 3. Manny Lawson making the tackle.
I like this play. You're sticking with the run game, but there was a little bit of zone read right there. So Teddy's reading the defensive end. He's reading Lawson, number 91. He's either going to hand it off, pull it down, and run the ball. Right there, he handed off, but they will come back to that play.
They gave him 3, so it's 2nd and 7. Looking deep for Patterson. Well defended. Stephon Gilmore was with him step for step, number 24.
Patterson with good coverage. He stays right there, hip to hip with the receiver. Patterson just didn't get the separation that he needed. I'm sorry, Gilmore just didn't get the separation that he needed, and it was an incomplete pass.
There's Stephon. He was a shutdown corner at the collegiate level, that's for sure. But this is the big leagues, a little different. 1 for 5 on third down conversions. They'll try again. Bridgewater flushed. Oh, he's got his tight end. Incomplete. And maybe picked. Yes, on the tip drill. Intercepted by McKelvin. Well, the pass got there just a little late for Chase Ford. And one of those moments, the rookie got a little greedy. And he paid the price again.
This game is sponsored by KFC, the world's best chicken. How do you KFC? By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Miller Lite. Back in its original look, it's Miller time.
We welcome you back to Orchard Park after a turnover. Interception off a tip, and we'll show you how it happened just a moment ago to Teddy Bridgewater. Buffalo takes over. On first down, Kyle Orton under duress. And the pass is incomplete. Let's go back to the interception. You'll notice Brandon Spikes definitely played a role here.
You see Spikes in the zone coverage. He's covering Ford. Ford actually beats him, but as a defender, you're taught when the receiver looks for the ball and puts his hands up, you put your hands up. You see Spikes do that, and who is Johnny on the spot? McKelvin with the interception.
Ford was open about a step sooner. The pass gets there. He's in great shape. Bridgewater's delivery just a little late. Boobie Dixon. We'll have to tone it a lot today with Jackson out, apparently for the rest of the day, according to Peter Schrager. Robert Blanton making the tackle.
Dixon just chugging the ball downhill. He's averaging about 8 yards a carry. It looks like he picks up about 7.
He may get a little winded today, though. He's going to carry it a few more times this afternoon.
Oh, there's no running back that'll ever mind getting some extra touches.
An exuberant guy, to be sure. C.J. Spiller checks in for him on third down and 3. Quick out to Hogan. He turns the corner and is ahead to midfield. First down, Buffalo. Blanton pushed him out.
Hogan, the former lacrosse star, with the reception. But what I'm looking at here is Woods. It looks like Woods is blocking right before he catches the ball, which allows Hogan to get down the field and get the first down. I think the refs missed a penalty on that play.
2 catches for 24 yards. That one for 17 and a first down. Again, very quick slant to Woods. He fumbled earlier, you might recall. They'll give him forward progress to the 44-yard line of Minnesota.
Look at number 10 on your screen, grabbing Munnerlyn before the play is completed. You can't do that. You just can't you can't let a guy get away with that. It happens though, and we saw it actually in college football last night where the refs called the illegal pick, surprisingly.
Captain Munnerlyn was involved in that tackle too. It's 2nd down and 7. Pass was thrown behind Woods this time, and that'll be a negative play back to the 49. Nice work by Xavier Rhodes.
Xavier Rhodes reading the play, sniffing it out. With a blocker on him, he goes and makes the tackle for a negative. And that's just good instincts and good coverage and good tackling.
Nice to hear you stayed up late to watch some college football last night. I like that. On 3rd down, Orton looping it for Watkins. And again, outstanding coverage by Rhodes.
I'm a defensive guy. I like that they let them play right there. Sammy Watkins on the outside, covered by Rhodes. He stays in his hip pocket. You see the contact early on. You see it down the field as well. The refs have been calling that this year. A little inconsistency there, but I like that they're letting them play. No bias.
No, you're just a defensive guy. I can deal with that. Sherrills is back deep. Schmidt to boot it away. High spiral and a fair catch called for. And the up man ran into the receiver that time. Kyle Orton wanted the call, and we've got a flag down. Yet again, here on special teams, Kyle really wanted that flag. He did not get it. Well, I guess they picked up the flag. Back at Orchard Park, 3-0 Minnesota with the lead. Backed up to the 12-yard line on 1st down for Teddy Bridgewater. The interception in his last series. Play fake. And that one's picked off. At the 30, and it's McKelvin again.
You want to avoid putting your quarterback in these types of situations. 1st down, pinned back deep in your own territory. Bridgewater has the time. He's going to Thielen, but he just underthrows it. McKelvin steps underneath it and makes the easy interception. Hand off the ball, run the ball. It's okay. Live to play another down, and now you're in a precarious position. Your defense in their own territory in the 25-yard line. Not a good look.
Yeah, he read his eyes that time. He was locked in on Thielen all the way. Bills now set up shot at the 26. Spiller in the backfield. Orton with a quick hitter. Watkins, touchdown.
Captain Munnerlyn on the coverage. After a turnover, offensive coordinators are going to go for broke. The first thing they're going to do if they have the ball in their own territory, you see Sammy Watkins one-on-one. He beats Munnerlyn inside. Munnerlyn cannot recover. Sammy Watkins with the touchdown, living up to all the hype as the Bills' #1 wide receiver. You got to be physical on the line of scrimmage with a guy like Watkins.
He's one of the home run hitters on this offense. And credit Kyle Orton, by the way, who got rid of his beard, clean shaven. Have you ever seen him without a beard?
I've never seen him. What does he look like? Who is that guy?
He was your teammate, wasn't he?
Sure enough.
We'll be right back.
This game is sponsored by the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
Fall foliage is out in Western New York, and the Bills fans with something to cheer about. Now leading 7-3. I don't know that I've seen 2 passes back-to-back from a quarterback at any level thrown to the same defender, but you notice McKelvin now has 2 of the last passes thrown by Teddy Bridgewater. And the last one leads to a touchdown to give the Bills the lead. Jordan Game will boot it away. Cordero Patterson is deep and they're squibing. Taken by the up man, Felton, the fullback. He gets it up to the 35-yard line, so good field position for Minnesota as they take over. And the confidence of Bridgewater is certainly in question. We also have a flag down. So we'll have to check the flag with Ed Hockey League.
Illegal formation by the kicking team. Number 33 went back more than 5 yards behind the ball. That's a 5-yard penalty. It will be enforced from where the kick was recovered. Minnesota's ball, first down.
Well, that gives them the 40 instead of the 35. Well, the good news for Bridgewater and the Vikings is that at least they have decent field position, and his confidence has to be shaken, one would think.
Yeah, all you have to do is go back to that offensive line. They're playing well. Start running the ball.
Twin tight end look, and it's a quick pitch to Jarrett McKinnon. Trying to get to the edge. Let's get an update on what has been a beleaguered front for Minnesota. Stephon Gilmore made that tackle. Let's go down to Peter Schrager.
Hey, Tim, they're already feeling the pain without Brandon Fusco in the lineup, but now John Sullivan, the talented center, is out with a concussion, and Vladimir Dukas, the guard, he's questionable to return. He's got a knee issue.
Wow. Now, Fusco had just signed a 5-year, $25 million deal. They lost him. Dukas was being really aided by John Sullivan in a very large way. The leadership of that veteran meant a great deal to Dukas, and now he's gone. 2nd and 9. McKinnon.
Now that's a big pickup. McKinnon able to power forward. And that says a lot about the depth on this offensive line. Losing Fusco to a torn pec against New Orleans. And now Sullivan is out of the game, but they're still sticking to the run game. You have 3rd down and short, and you're putting your team and your quarterback in a position to convert.
Best way to make a beleaguered offensive line look good is allow your run game to get north and south. That's what the attempt is here, and why not with Bridgewater having thrown 2 picks in the last 2 series. 3rd and 2. And another flag goes down.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
It is an advantage to have a Norv Turner as your offensive coordinator, a guy with 30-plus years in this business. I know Teddy loves having him, means a great deal to him, but this is a lot to take on. This is your first road game in the National Football League as a quarterback.
And you're playing against the #1 run defense, but if you've seen any ways you could take advantage of this team, it is in the pass game.
3rd and 7. Looking deep for Jennings. He's got it inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. The veteran from Western Michigan reels it in.
And Jennings is showing up today. You have Roby on the coverage right in the middle of the field. The ball is shortly underthrown, but Jennings puts himself between the ball and the defender, Roby, and makes the nice clean reception. Ball at the 19-yard line.
38 yards on the reception for Jennings. Now Asiata comes back into the game as they go shotgun. 4 wide receiver set. Bridgewater's pass dumped underneath to Jennings again. He's got it down to the 5-yard line. Corey Graham knocks him out. Jennings had a wonderful quote when we visited with him yesterday. When talking to Teddy Bridgewater, he said, we oftentimes hear about receivers wanting the ball, being upset with their quarterbacks. He said, if you're upset with Teddy Bridgewater, then you probably should be upset with yourself. He's that good a guy. 1st and goal. Patterson, touchdown.
I believe Patterson lined up in the backfield right there. The defensive eyes should light up. You know, every time Patterson's in the backfield, he is going to be the primary key, either for a handoff or some type of trickery. You see the play action. Patterson gets the ball on the outside. He just beats Corey Graham to the end zone. That was a great series. Great play calling by the Minnesota Vikings.
Norv Turner served the rookie well in that sequence, didn't he? Dialed up just the right plays. And the confidence is back for Teddy Bridgewater as Blair Walsh puts it through.
What we missed on the play before.
First touchdown pass of his NFL career. We'll be right back. Well, the two big hitters offensively, Watkins and Patterson, for their respective teams, have come up with clutch plays for touchdowns. What a turnaround there for Teddy Bridgewater. And the play that led to the touchdown to Jennings, there were two of them really. The one that got him to the 5-yard line, you want to dissect a little further, Brendan. And let's go back to that play by Jennings. You noticed something that was crucial.
Let's go back to the Jennings play. You see Chase Ford. He's singled up. He runs the out and up. He's the primary target right here. He is not open. Jennings makes Brad a miss, takes the ball all the way down to the 5-yard line to set up that touchdown. I like the progression by Teddy Bridgewater going from his 1 to number 2 target.
He really cleared out the area, didn't he?
54's the mic. Down.
First down 10. C.J. Spiller, the lone setback for Orton. Quick slant complete to Watkins. Sammy's got it out past the 30 to the 32-yard line. Captain Munnerlyn making the tackle.
Munnerlyn's had a busy day with Sammy Watkins. Watkins just running the nice inside slant. Munnerlyn makes the tackle, but now they're trying to get this offense going and get Kyle Orton in a nice flow.
55's the mic. The lady.
With Jackson out, it's going to be Spiller. And more Spiller. And a little splash and dash all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
What amazing vision by Spiller on the cutback to take the ball all the way back. Look at the vision by Spiller. He spills it all the way back on the outside, comes all the way around the defense. And that's the home run ability by Spiller, but he's down on the sideline. Let's see what's going on with him. Fred Jackson is already out of the ball game.
Yeah, Robert Blanton with the shoestring tackle. 53 yards on the carry for Spiller. That time he bounced it outside properly. And the interesting aspect of that, the criticism was he was going outside too much and coming up with negative yardage. I think he answered his critics there. And you see, among others, Frank Summers, his fullback, there to check on him, along with Eric Wood, the center, team captain. Lots of concern for CJ. E.J. Manuel also down there, who was starting before Orton took over. In many respects, E.J. is still the future of this franchise, and having Kyle Orton as the quarterback, they brought him in as a free agent very late, signed in late August. He's helping teach E.J. how to become a pro. There's a super slow-mo look at it, and sometimes that happens when you're surprisingly tripped up from behind and you're at full speed.
Yeah, you just can't exactly tell what happened. It could be anything. It could be lower body, upper body. We just don't know yet.
No, certainly don't want to speculate too much. Well, when Jackson got hurt, it was unavoidable. You can see he was holding in that upper thigh portion of his body. You could tell it was probably a groin injury. He's out for the rest of the day. Boobie Dixon, I beg your pardon, is the only guy remaining, with Fred Jackson gone and C.J. Spiller presumably in doubt, if not gone for the day. That will leave only Boobie Dixon left in that Buffalo backfield.
And what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to sub some guys out on special teams, because Boobie Dixon is a special teams player. So they're going to have to make some shuffling, sub some guys in.
Here you see the Jackson injury. He clearly grimaced and went for that upper thigh region. And now it's Spiller that they're concerned for, as Jackson's already been carted to the locker room. Maybe thinking about maybe wide receivers who've had some history of running the football. Special team guys probably called upon to do other things with the roster limitations being what they are in the National Football League. I'm sure it's been a while since Doug Marrone has dealt with something quite like this, particularly since his team in so many respects is built on running back by committee and its defense.
Yeah, and where you're really going to hurt by losing Fred Jackson's on third down. He's leading the team in receptions. He's a guy that can also pass block on third in passing plays. And now you lose your other superstar in Spiller. Boobie Dixon, a younger guy, he's going to have to step up his game, but he's really going to be in there for the majority of the game now.
All right, 5:37 remaining here. Let's get back to Los Angeles for this game break with my friend Joel Klatt.
Yes, hello, Tim. And I want to direct your eyes to the top of the screen, because that's Stedman Bailey. A little trickery on the special teams from St. Louis. And he's going to take it back the distance, 88 yards. And the Rams are putting it on the defending Super Bowl champs. It's 21-3. 50 seconds to happen that one. Tim, Brendan, and Peter.
Wow.
Surprise.
It's not easy having the bullseye, is it? Thank you, Joel. Here, still a lot of concern for C.J. Spiller, as he'll be carted off. And again, you wonder what must be going through Nathaniel Hackett, the very young offensive coordinator for this team, the son of Paul Hackett, what to do at the running back position. An area of great depth has now become a liability, as C.J. Spiller, like his teammate Fred Jackson, is carted back to the locker room before halftime. We may see a lot of movement with regard to position players playing out of position. And Anthony Boobie Dixon getting ready for a lot of carries today. He'll have a very sore Monday in front of him. Straight ahead he goes, down to the 10. Chad Greenway, number 52, making the tackle for Minnesota.
With Frank Summers in that backfield, the huge fullback, and Boobie Dixon, who's even bigger than his fullback. Got a load back there.
Second down and 6. They'll go empty. Hogan is in the slot to the bottom of your screen. That is a favorite target for Orton inside the red zone, number 15. Orton goes the other way, and it's knocked away by Barr.
Great job by Barr. Immediately, if I'm Kyle Orton, I see the mismatch with Sammy Watkins in the slot position right here. Barr playing underneath coverage on Sammy Watkins, gets the break up, but that's exactly where I would go. I just would have got the ball sooner, but hey, I'm not an NFL quarterback, I'm just a linebacker.
Well, you were good enough to earn a spot in the booth. That means you were awfully good. 3rd and 6. Hogan again in the slot to the bottom of your screen. Orton's in some trouble now. Down he goes. At the 14 in the arms of Emerson Griffin.
That's a nice coverage sack. Great defense. Orton's primary target, he had nowhere to go. In the defensive line, gets there. He was looking at Chris Hogan all the way.
Oh, yeah.
He had a bracket on the inside and the outside. Orton, that's fine. Take the sack. Put 3 points up on the board. It's okay.
Well, that was one that had been dissected by Mike Zimmer, George Edwards and company with that Minnesota staff. Hogan is a favorite target inside the red zone. And that boot is good, measuring 32 yards by Dan Carpenter. And we're tied at 10. Let's get an update on C.J. Spiller's status from Peter Schrager. Peter?
Tim, bad news here on the Bills sideline. C.J. Spiller out for the game with a shoulder injury. Now Fred Jackson out. Also C.J. Spiller's out. Boobie Dixon, next man up.
Yeah, and you wonder what, if any, options there could be. At this point, you maybe begin looking at the resumes of some of the talent you brought in to figure out if anybody else has carried it a time or two.
For such a run-oriented football team with a physical offensive line, they might have to resort to some short passes to Watkins, hit those tight ends. They're going to have to change up their game plan just a bit, but they're going to make it work. They'll figure it out. Good thing Scott Chandler coming off his best game of the year last week. 6 receptions and a career-high 105 yards. I think they'll be going back to that well.
Yeah, not a bad idea to use the tight ends a little bit more, right? If you don't have enough backs, you want to maybe use the passing game as part of your running game. Maybe some slip screens, utilizing your receiving core as backs. We've already seen Minnesota do that with Cordero Patterson today, lining him up in slots, even for a touchdown early. Jordan Gay will boot it away. Speaking of Cordero Patterson, is back there again. Takes it on the run. Look out. He's got great speed right up the seam to the 31.
Patterson last year was a Pro Bowler.
Get ready for the best Halloween treat of all, the Sunday Fun Day Spooktacular. All new episodes of your favorite comedies, including The Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror. It all starts at 8/7 Central tonight on Fox.
You definitely don't want to get Patterson started. He's already got the touchdown. Nice little return right there. But last year represented the NFC as a kickoff returner in the Pro Bowl.
52!
From the 31. That was the tight end. One fake. That one was red. McKinnon, they were trying to set up the screen, and Preston Brown would have none of it. And that's the rookie teammate from Louisville, so tight with Teddy Bridgewater. He saw that one coming from his old friend.
Bridgewater's former teammate, Brown, he sniffs it out. You have the reverse. So much trickery and illusion going on in this play. With the reverse to the left, the screen to the right. The young linebacker reads his keys and makes the stop. Another negative play for this Vikings offense.
2nd and 16. Bridgewater to McKinnon. Gets a little of it back, not quite back to the line of scrimmage, or the original line of scrimmage. The 29-yard line is where they'll set it up. So it's 3rd and long coming up for the Vikings.
Bridgewater with the check down. Everybody was covered downfield, but now you're in a tough situation now. You have 3rd down and long. It's not 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable. There's not too many plays an offensive coordinator can dial up to pick up the 1st down in this situation.
Jarius Wright has come in. He's been a playmaker of late for Minnesota. Number 17 down at the bottom of your screen. Pressure, and down goes Bridgewater. Mario Williams. Add to his sack total for a team that is 2nd in the National Football League in total sacks coming in.
Mario Williams on the left side, coming off of his defensive end position, gets yet another sack, and he just beats the tackle one-on-one. And you see Patterson underneath. He beats the coverage. He's sitting there wide open, but there's just not enough time to get him the football. The offensive line finally crumbling.
Buffalo did get a timeout. Super Mario enjoying his moment on the sidelines with this. He's got a lot of help on that defensive front. Jerry Hughes is maybe having his best year ever. On the other side, Leonis McKelvin, who's got a couple of interceptions on the day, and Teddy Bridgewater is willing to punt of Jeff Locke. Plenty of room for him. And we've got markers down as he is upended, and another flag goes down at the 24-yard line. So we have 2 flags down off that 53-yard boot. Calvin appeared hobbled early, but is getting off on most of his own power. But he's a little banged and bruised right now.
Randall Johnson on the clip on Brandon Watts. I could see that from here. The ref's definitely going to pick it up.
It's been an active day for Ed Hockey League.
There were 2 fouls by the receiving team during the play. Illegal block at the back, number 55 is declined. Also an illegal block in the back, number 58. That's enforced 10 yards from the end of the kick. Buffalo keeps the ball, first down.
It's on Randall Johnson, 58 of Buffalo, the one that they're going to execute. The 10 yards. There's the one in the back that we were told about a moment ago.
That's the penalty they did take. You want to see the penalty they did take right there to the left of your screen.
Jerry Hughes was the one that was guilty. That was the second flag that was nullified. Coming down to the 2-minute warning after this as Kyle Orton tries to get Woods realigned. The play clock winding down. Dixon crashes over the left side for about 5. Anthony Barr makes the tackle, and we've come to the 2-minute warning. Tied at 10. Bruised, battered, at times beleaguered, but they fight on. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Tim Brando alongside Britton Adebadejo and Peter Schrager on Fox. That pass for Sammy Watkins is caught at the 27-yard line. This has been a story of injuries as they play fast. Quick note, Fred Jackson, the first to go down. He leaves the game with a groin pull. It will cost him today, and C.J. Spiller actually injured his shoulder and was taken out on the cart momentarily. And now, the tight end Scott Chandler that you mentioned, Brendan, they probably need to use a little bit more. He had 6 catches last week, makes that catch as Harrison Smith brings him down. Trying to go tempo here with a 2-minute drill.
In the play before that, Harrison Smith blitzed up the middle, got a nice clean hit on Kyle Orton, and right there makes the stop on Scott Chandler.
Watkins with the catch again. That's another first down out to the 40-yard line.
Josh Robeson on the stop. Another quick completion. Another quick completion to Sammy Watkins. Watkins just running a nice stop route, picks up the first down, and he stops the clock.
Plenty of time for them to work with. A couple of timeouts remaining as well. A little cross-up that time, it seemed, with both Woods and Hogan in the same area. Pass goes incomplete. Had to be a mix-up on the routes between those receivers.
Yeah, just a mix-up on the route with Woods and Hogan. You see 2 young receivers in the same place at the same time. And just the timing is off. Miscommunication. One of them most likely ran one of the wrong routes.
Yellow, 52.
Second down and 10.
Yellow lady. 52's the mic. Blue lady. Split up.
Orton for Chandler, airmailed it, and it's picked off. Intercepted. Robert Blanton, 36. And it's Minnesota now with an opportunity to score before the break. Kyle knows that one just sailed on him.
Just let it go. Just let it go a little bit too long. And when you don't have your run game, there's not too many different options you have back there. I was looking at the communication with Boobie Dixon and Orton. They're not on the same page. But most importantly, Blanton is sitting back there. He throws it right to him, and Orton wishes he could have that back. He really let that one sail.
Blanton's pretty stoked. Jarrett McKinnon is the lone setback now. 4 wides and a tight for Minnesota. Bridgewater's pass is caught. That's Jarius Wright. Another veteran that they can call upon. Greg Jennings has already had a good day. Wright with that reception.
Surprisingly soft coverage by Banyard right there. Jarius Wright was wide open. There wasn't a defender within 5 yards of him.
First and 10, Minnesota. Chase Ford is coming to the game, the tight end up at the top of your screen. Pressure coming, Bridgewater dumps it, and Jennings does make the catch at the 41-yard line. There was an inside blitz coming. Roby made the tackle along with Roby, but it was well read by Bridgewater. He got rid of it in a hurry.
Yeah, the defensive line shifted. They all slid down to their left.
Timeout,
Pressure was coming.
Minnesota. That's their third and final timeout. To 30 seconds.
Let's go to Kurt Menefee and find out what's coming up on our Visa Halftime Report.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll get you caught up on the day as Brian Hoyer and the Browns go for their third straight win. Andrew Luck and the Colts go for their fifth in a row. Brandon Marshall and the Bears, well, they look for their first home win of the season. It's all coming up at the half.
Thank you, Kurt. I think of the Bears and where they are, and having spent some time with you, Brendan, the last few days, some of your greatest memories were with Kyle Orton as a young player in this league with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle Orton was instrumental. His rookie year, he actually went 10-5 and took us to the playoffs.
Hey, Ryan!
Jerick McKinnon is in the backfield with Bridgewater, the lone setback on 2nd and 7. That pass incomplete. Looking for McKinnon right inside the seam. It was incomplete. Bradham was there to help cover. Pressure coming off the edge.
Looked like Bradham may have got a hand in there and slowed down. Let's look at the hit. Oh, that looks a little bit late on Wynn. He tries to hold him up and not take him down.
3rd down and 7. Out pattern Patterson. And he really went the wrong direction after catching it. Had he just bolted for the sidelines, he would have been closer to the sticks. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, why not go for it? Up field goal. That makes sense too. Put 3 points on the board, but you don't want to give them the ball back in field position if you do miss this.
Well, it'll be a long one. It's 55 yards. And remember, they used that challenge earlier in the game and lost the timeout, so this is really the only option. Walsh will try a 55-yarder. He's got one from that length against Atlanta, his longest. And this one is good. He matches his career longest, 55 yards.
And he had room to spare on it.
He did.
You saw McKelvin go back deep. The danger in that is that had he missed it, the Bills would have the ball at the 45-yard line. Now you get a couple first downs, and you can put 3 points up on the board yourself.
You're right. He had a lot of leg in that one. And Zimmer is digging it. He kicked the rock. And the coach with gallstones is happy about it.
He was excited. I'm glad he didn't do a grammatical on that one.
He can't jump. You're not going to jump, right? Not in the shape that Mike is in today. I've been in this business a long time. I never remember a coach on the sidelines in any sport waiting to pass a gallstone that hasn't been passed as yet. That's tough.
He's playing injured. He's getting that thing removed on Tuesday. He said it's been the most painful thing he's had to deal with.
Otis McKelvin is back deep. When I say gallstone, I meant to say kidney stone. My apologies to the doctors. It hurts regardless.
I'm so young, I don't know the difference. Tim, I'm sorry.
Well, a reminder that World Series begins on Fox. Well, what fun that's going to be. Just to think about Kansas City having a chance to host it, that they haven't lost a postseason game this year under Ned Yost. Horton will take a knee, and that'll do it for the first half. Let's get now to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. The Vikings lead the Bills 13-10, and the Bills will receive to open the second half. And today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. And there are the numbers on Sammy Watkins. No longer on Rivas Island today. 5 receptions, 68 yards, and a touchdown. New England had snuffed him out, kept him to only 2 catches a week ago. But still, the Bills, with their 2 best backs out of the game with injuries, Jackson and C.J. Spiller, they trail by 3. Turnovers very much a part of this game on both sides. Leotis McKelvin, who had 2 of the interceptions of Teddy Bridgewater, awaits the kick from Blair Walsh, who hit a 55-yarder that's the difference of the game in the late stages of the first half. McKelvin from the 3. Quality return out to the 32-yard line. And let's go down to Peter Schrager, who's got more on the coaches that he chatted with at halftime. Right, Peter?
Just spoke with Doug Marrone, the head coach of the Bills, and I said, are you going to move a wide receiver to running back? What are you going to do when you lose Spiller and Fred Jackson? He says, we're looking at Boobie Dixon, our running back. He's going to be our guy. You might see Frank Summers, the fullback, get some carries here, but don't look for anything drastic from the wide receiver position. I'm going to ask Mike Zimmer about his offensive line. Now, they're going to be out here without John Sullivan, and they're also missing Vlad Vicas. He says, we've got to adjust. It's what we've done with all season. And Zimmer himself dealing with those kidney stones, Tim. He's hanging in there. He's feeling all right.
I'm glad to hear that he's hanging in. Just having to say it is tough. Sharif Floyd makes that stop of Boobie Dixon ahead to the 34-yard line. 8 and 2, second down and 8 coming up. Boobie Dixon wanted to carry the ball. I'm not sure he wanted to carry it as much as he's going to have to today. He initiates the hit as well as any back I know of. Stopped that time by Jasper Brinkley.
Brinkley with the tackle. He took the brunt of that, but Brinkley goes out. Chad Greenway comes into the ball game.
Third and a short 7 coming up. Dixon had 14 carries all told in the season coming into today's game. He'll have more than that in this game alone by the end of the day. Orton's pass, the quick curl to Hogan, but it's shy of a first down by at least 2 yards. The Vikings defense gets a 3 and out to open the second half.
Hogan runs the route just a tad bit short, but with the pressure, Greenway showing the pressure up the middle. Orton felt like he had to get the ball out fast. The linebackers drop from those A-gap blitzing positions, and they get the stop. That's classic Zimmer defense.
Sherrills is back deep, awaiting the punt of Colton Schmidt. Beautiful punt, backing him up to the 6-yard line and a fair catch called. Once again, the Vikings rookie quarterback will be backed up to open the second.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Buy your next truck, Ford F-150. By Burger King. For a limited time, get 10 chicken nuggets for just $1.49. And by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving.
If I were going to hang around a while, I think I'd go there. But I can't. I got to get home. First and 10 for Minnesota. Jerick McKinnon breaking free. Look at him go. Jerick McKinnon all the way out to the 35-yard line. Nigel Bradham finally corrals him. That was a really tough run.
McKinnon running hard off the right side of that offensive line. He hits the hole hard. You see him with the stiff arm on Aaron Williams. Breaks the tackle. Luckily, Bradham is there. That definitely would have been a highlight.
Williams has been nursing a wrist injury. Got one right to the neck there from McKinnon. And Jerry takes it again into the interior line and is stopped for about a yard gain.
I can't recall a football game where teams were pinned deeper in their territory, getting the ball at the 5 right there. Luckily, McKinnon bounces the ball out. We've seen repeatedly through this game, the Vikings have had the ball unless there was a turnover inside their own 10-yard line.
Well, you saw that was the longest run surrendered by this stingy Buffalo defense all season long, that 29-yarder from McKinnon. On 2nd and 9. Pressure again. Bridgewater goes down. Coming off the edge, Jerry Hughes. He's as good as it gets.
Hughes with his 5th sack of the season. Just coming off the edge, you see the spin move right up the middle. And Hughes is there on the sack. Nice spin move right up the middle. Hughes going to his pass rushing arsenal. Right here, 3rd and long. He's going to dial up another pass rush. Let's see what he has in store.
Well, you see those sacks allowed, more than points scored. Coming in, they thought they'd feast against this offensive line, and as Peter Schrager mentioned, they've already lost Sullivan and DeCossy, and Asiano will just take it ahead to try to give them a little bit more room to work with for the punt.
It's not a bad play. You dial up the draw play instead of having another negative play, and you go and punt the football. Your defense is playing good ball today. Buffalo Bills have a couple injured guys at running back. It's making it a lot easier for Zimmer to dial up defenses.
Lock to boot it away, should get it off around the 18. Kelvin back deep. He decides to take it. Has room towards the boundary if he can get away. Well, credit the reserve tight end Ellison for slowing him up just a bit. Otherwise, he would have really been long gone. And Hughes is psyched. Buffalo takes over at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10. Trailing by 3. Sammy Watkins is flanked to the bottom of your screen. Dixon on the delay. Crashing ahead for about 5 yards. I know you noticed something on that special teams play a moment ago. Tell me about it, Brendan.
Yeah, you see Robert Blanton with the hustle downfield. He's right here. Robert Blanton, he misses the tackle on the initial hit on McKelvin. Then you see the good hustle by Ellison, but Ellison can't get there. And who's on the spot? Hustling, special teams guy, makes the tackle. Great job by Blanton.
Didn't give up on the play. That's how you make football teams and continue getting team photos. Watkins inside the 40-yard line of Minnesota, and we've got a flag down on the opposite side of the field where Hogan and Xavier Rhodes were getting at it. They haven't stopped woofing.
Oh, the defense, number 29. The penalty is declined. The play results in a 1st down.
They declined the penalty because of the great game, but here you see the holding, and then there was a little jawing to go with it between those two. Watkins now flanked up to the top of your screen. That's Woods in the slot. Dixon. Booby inside the 30 to the 29. Stopped by Brinkley.
Good play by Booby Dixon. Coming up through the middle, right down that gap right there. Where you see rookie linebacker number 55, Anthony Barr, needs to get in that gap. It's cover 2. He needs to get inside the wide receiver. He was cut out. Booby Dixon reads it and makes a nice gain.
A lot of times, right, the younger players can, because they're so aggressive, run themselves out of a play. On 1st down, Orton swings it out to Dixon this time. Takes himself out at about the 20-yard line.
Anthony Barr once again front and center on this play. This is more about what Booby Dixon did to make him miss on the swing pass. Young guys in the NFL, the sideline is your friend. Use that sideline. Stay in the hip pocket of the ball carrier. If you're not going to tackle him, at least you're going to force him out of bounds.
Summers now has come in as the lone setback, the fullback. Peter mentioned there will be times when they utilize him back there. He'll take it off the left-hand side. He forges ahead. He'll be very close to another first down.
And he's not going to try to make anybody miss when he has the ball. Put the bread right in the basket, put your head down, whatever's in front of you, run right through it or right over it.
Dixon and Chandler and Hogan all re-enter the game.
Nice physical run right there.
Good power football. Run to 17, first down. Orton running out of time. Lost it. It's on the ground. Griffin stripped it, and Minnesota should have it. They do.
Couldn't tell if Orton's hand, if his throwing motion was going forward or not on that play.
Griffin's got him. Ball is loose. Vikings on top of it. It's barred.
This game is sponsored by Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile.
Tim Brando along with Brandon Ayer-Badegio alongside Peter Schrager down on the field as you looked at Kyle Orton with yet another turnover, 3 fumbles and an interception. I dare say if you told Mike Zimmer that his rookie quarterback would have thrown 2 picks and yet they'd be +2 in the turnover category, he'd say, I'll take it. As Asiana bolts out for a first down, or at least very near first down yardage. Stopped by Aaron Williams.
4 turnovers in the football game for the Buffalo Bills. This was something they wanted to eliminate, which really led to their loss last week against the Patriots, and now they're back to the same thing again 2 weeks in a row.
Well, 2 of the 4 fumbles, or 4 turnovers, 2 of the 4 turnovers have been in the red zone for Buffalo.
Ready? Ready? Hot! Hot!
Asiana, nifty move there to the head for about 3. Very little was there. Kyle Williams stepping in to make the tackle. Chad Greenway is enjoying it. What a wonderful leader he is. Former linebacker at Iowa with Kirk Ferentz. Put a lot of pros out of that program into the NFL. Second down and 6. Quick pitch to Asiana. And he's going to be about 3 yards, maybe 2 shy of a first down. Duke Williams the tackle. Let's get a game break from Joel Klett. Joel.
All right, Tim, to St. Louis we go. Russell Wilson trying to bring the Seahawks back. Keeps it himself around the right side. Takes it in. 3rd rushing touchdown on the season. And the Super Bowl champs clawing back in this one. It's 21-13 in St. Louis. Back to Buffalo. Tim, Brendan, Peter.
I think a lot of people are looking for who's the next Russell Wilson. Joel at the quarterback position in the NFL. We're not sure yet who that might be, but he certainly helped transform the position in the NFL. Jerome Felton, the fullback, did not get the first down. He's shy by a good yard. I think he was stoned at the line of scrimmage there by that defensive front. Kyle Williams, the last to get off that pile, got underneath as they're so good at doing this defensive line. Just getting lower than the other guy, right, Brendan?
Yeah, and you know, this series, they ran the ball 4 times. They picked up 1 first down. They chewed up some of the clock. They didn't have any negative plays. And it was a good series. They didn't do much, but now they're going to flip the field. And they're just sticking to the game plan. I can appreciate that.
Jeff Locke will boot it away. Leotis McElvin again back deep. He's at the Buffalo 20. Beautiful punt. He's waving everybody off, and this one's going to die like a 9-iron inside the 10. A long 9-iron, by the way. That's a PGA Tour 9-iron, not the champions. We'll be back.
There was a foul on the play, illegal touching by the kicking team. Number 35 was out of bounds. It was the first to touch the ball inbounds. That's a 5-yard penalty. Buffalo has elected to enforce it from the end of the run. First down.
Good call, and it does give them a little bit more room as Marcus Sherrills lost sight of where he was on the field. So rather than inside the 10, it's inside the 15 for Buffalo. Out pattern to Chris Gregg, reserve tight end. You would think that they would use the tight end position, whether it's Chandler or Gregg, a great deal. What with the depleted running back position due to injury here in the second half.
Yeah, and especially the great game that Chandler came off of last week. With Chad Greenway in the game, you know, he didn't play the last 2 weeks. He's been banged up, so take advantage of the mismatch there.
2nd and 5. Dixon trying to bounce outside. Decides to reverse his field. Negotiates to about the 17. New this season. Stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile.
Bobby Dixon isn't going to outrun anybody to the sideline. He's a big, hefty running back. He's a guy that needs to run the ball downhill. North and south.
We got a timeout. Got a injured Viking. I think it's Rhodes being dealt with. He's coming off on most of his own power. A lot of banged up players today. The offensive front for Minnesota depleted. Running back core down really to Bobby Dixon or bust for Buffalo.
I was a guy that always liked to play on a grass surface. Never could really appreciate the turf or the next turf. I liked the smell of the grass, the feel of the grass, and I also felt just safer in general playing on the grass turf.
3rd down and 5. I sort of prefer the sand myself. You know, sunny days, that kind of thing.
Volleyball.
Yeah, right. If that. Orton in trouble and sacked. Back at the 11-yard line, and it's Everson Griffin who's having a whale of a day.
Griffin with his 3rd sack. Credit this sack to the play call. So George Edwards, defensive coordinator, he dialed this one up. You saw the pressure from the linebackers. You see Griffin come off the edge and get the sack because the offensive line didn't know exactly who to block.
There's George, pretty pumped. Why wouldn't he be? Sherrills is deep. Schmitz to boot from his end zone. Hunter's getting a workout today, and they've both been pretty doggone good. Here's Sherrills with room. It's a good punt, but the hang time was not as much as perhaps he would have liked. Griffin is having a great day. 5 years out of USC, his 3rd sack of the day. Minnesota takes over after the return to the 49-yard line against Buffalo. Leading by 3, and Jerick McKinnon, who a 29-yard burst a moment ago, gets ahead for 9 on 1st down. Peter Schrager has more on those being pressed into extra duty today.
Yeah, the guy to watch is number 21, Leotis McKelvin. Now, he typically returns punts for the team and plays corner. But now C.J. Spiller's out, and the number 2 and 3 kick returners, Marquise Goodwin and Marcus Easley, are both inactive. So who's out there returning kicks? Leotis McKelvin. Now he's doing punt returns, kick returns. Oh yeah, and he's matching up with the number 1 wide receiver.
That's a load for him to take on. Graham made that stop. Corey Graham of Jerick McKinnon. Still shy of a 1st down, although I think they want to take a look at it. What's that old saying, Brendan? That's not all. They don't always pay you for what you do, but for what you might have to do in this league.
Yep, and it's not always going to be what you thought you were going to do. You might have to do something that necessarily wasn't on the assignment. You see Jerry Hughes playing on punt return today.
Wow. By the nose of the football, they get the 1st down. So the Vikings really in great shape here, trying to take advantage of the turnovers and a very stingy defense that's been able to get to Kyle Orton today and force fumbles and a big interception. Cordero Patterson is flanked to the bottom of your screen. Jarius Wright takes the Wide receiver screen, just a quick shot. Well, they're not letting Bridgewater hang around too long with the ball, are they? Ahead for about 5. Corey Graham makes the stop.
And they're running a tempoed offense. Couple run plays on the last play now. They come back with the screen, get the ball out there fast. Wright makes a couple guys miss. I'd slow it down, though, personally, if I have the matchups that I like. Maybe I would go hurry up, but otherwise, I'd chew up this clock and grind it down.
Bridgewater under pressure and a marker down. Should be a hold. Catch is made by Chase Ford down at the 24-yard line. This one's thrown in an area where holding you suspect would be the call.
Illegal hands to the face. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat second down.
Pat Khalil.
Right there with the hands on Hughes' face mask. That's a huge emphasis this year. Hands to the face, whether it's offense or defense. The refs are going to be calling that out.
They wanted an explanation, but honestly, that was, you've got to protect your quarterback, and if he doesn't extend his arm, then Bridgewater is in a world of trouble.
But anytime a ref sees the hand on the face, automatic.
2nd and 16. Nothing doing for McKinnon. Jerry Hughes again.
Jerry Hughes from his right side defensive end position. The play is ran to the right. Hughes sniffs it out. It looked like he did a nice little underneath technique, got it between the guard and the tackle, and made the play.
Look how fast he is.
The guy is fast. When I saw him, he looked like a linebacker. He is about 6'2", 255, 260. But just looks athletic, nice and trim and slim and fast.
There are more to come from TCU that have been converted from safeties, corners, even running backs to defensive end in Gary Patterson's defense with the Horned Frogs. He was one of the classic converted players to the defensive end position as a pass rusher. That's the end of the third. Buffalo has the lead. Will return after this message from your local Fox station. We welcome you back to Orchard Park, New York. The Buffalo Bills, really a very meaningful quarter for them, sitting at 3-3 at home. They're a game behind New England in the AFC East with a young and talented team playing a Minnesota club that entered here reeling with a rookie coach and all kinds of issues off the field as an organization. Now on 3rd and 18, Bridgewater going for a home run pitch. Right. Wow. Oh, that was a great route that he ran. They're going to rule that he is, oh, there's a conversation, in or out. They're going to say he's in. And he stopped his route on a dime. Now they're quickly trying to line up to run yet another play, but the conversation is existing. They are going to call it a catch. The field judge and side judge were having a long conversation about it. Wonder if a challenge flag might be thrown by Buffalo. They're going to say he's out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
Buffalo is challenging the ruling on the field that the pass was complete.
You had to know that was coming. 28 yards. That challenge might work out for Buffalo.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Domino's. Oh, yes, we did. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
The ruling on the field stands as called. It's Minnesota's ball, first down. Buffalo is charged with their first timeout.
Not enough indisputable evidence, although it was very close. I thought there was a chance as we went to break that maybe the right foot might have lifted and the left foot dragged appropriately. Mike Barrera is back in our Los Angeles studios. It was close, Mike. It really was.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It might have lifted, but might doesn't result in a reversal. It's got to be indisputable.
Yeah.
And I think that they did right with Ed and New York and the booth, leaving it the way it was.
There are times when we really have to redefine indisputable with some of these overturns. You're right, Mike. I agree with you. Very important first down.
Really just have to question the coverage on that play. Stephon Gilmore playing off. He just needed to be at the first down marker and just wasn't playing tight enough.
Wright really dinked him. He stopped the route abruptly to make that catch. Here's McKinnon ahead, stopped at the line of scrimmage. Let's go to Kurt Menefee for a game break in Los Angeles. Kurt.
Well, after Kirk Cousins had a couple of wrong game, my apologies. This is Russell Wilson leading the comeback. Cooper Helfet, touchdown. They were down 21-3 at one point. It's now 21-19. Tevin Brendan will straighten it out over here.
Well, a big comeback by the reigning champs. Here, Minnesota leading by 3 over Buffalo. Threatening the red zone again. Swing pass. Boy, that one knocked away. Beautiful. Could have been a pick 6 if Jarius Wynn has the speed necessary. He knocked it away, got his big paw up, and we've got some extracurricular activities away from the ball around the 10-yard line in the secondary. Stephon Gilmore involved. Look at this tip.
You see Wynn right there, tips the ball right at the last second. And here's the extracurricular activity with Gilmore and Jennings. Gilmore probably a little bit hot from the last play where he got beat. Jennings, the veteran. A little extracurricular activity, nothing wrong with a little extra emotion.
Big third down for the Buffalo defense here, 3rd and 10. All right, will they get it off in time? Barely. Bridgewater's pass is caught. Jarius Wright again. Inside the 10 to the 7. 1st and goal, Minnesota.
Another injured player on the field.
Let's go, Corey! Let's go!
That's Aaron Williams, who's been nursing that bad wrist.
Jarius Wright having a great day today, just working one-on-one. Did a nice job to get open. Once again, he basketballed himself between McKelvin and the ball. Picked up the first down, and he's excited.
Yeah, I think that wrist problem may be rearing its ugly head again for Aaron Williams. Well, on this drive, they've converted a 3rd and 18 and a 3rd and 10. Have not relinquished a rushing touchdown. Let's see what happens here with Asiata in the backfield on 1st and goal.
Wow, inside move. Jerry Hughes with the sack coming off the right side.
When you need a big play, 55 is generally going to deliver it off the edge. Backside pressure, Teddy, and he didn't feel it.
Matt Khalil wasn't ready for that inside move. Hughes using that outside pass rush right there. He goes underneath. He's got plenty of different techniques in his tool shed. He's showing them off today.
Well, you know, sometimes against a team like Buffalo, it's so difficult to run on. Maybe a little extra room helps. You're not going to run it in from inside the 10 against these guys. Bridgewater down again. This time, it's Marcel Darius.
Marcel Darius just busted through the middle. This was the problem. They wanted to stop all the negative plays. That's why the run game has been their best friend today. Just hand the ball off. Now you're going back 2 plays in a row, negative plays. And what are you going to dial up on? 3rd down and 24. Makes it tough on Norv Turner and Teddy Bridgewater.
High formation with McKinnon. Jerome Felton, the fullback, will lead the way, and Jarrett darts to the 15-yard line, and they set up shop for a field goal. Norris Searcy, number 25, making the tackle. Minnesota's offensive line got abused with the ball inside the 10-yard line with those 2 sacks, and so they'll have to settle for 3.
Jeff Davidson in the offensive line coach Jeff Davidson has his guys doing a great job today, but just a little bit too much.
33-yard boot. Right down Broadway for Blair Walsh. 4 years out of Alabama. Darius does them in. Stars of the day defensively inside the red zone for Buffalo, Hughes and Darius. One coming from the middle, the other one off the edge. 12-play, 5.5-minute drive, and that's only 3. But Minnesota's lead is now 6, and McKelvin takes a knee. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character, leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. Boobie Dixon remains the I-back out of the power set with a fullback in the game. He only gets about a yard, if that, this time.
A lot of people would argue that there are no moral victories in football, but the Minnesota Vikings had it first down and goal from the 7. You get the 2 sacks, and it ends up being third down and goal from the 23-yard line. They have to kick the field goal. I think that is a moral victory. Now let's see if the offense can pick up from the momentum that the defense started.
Neither team is operating on full cylinders offensively. For Minnesota, the problem is in the offensive front. For Buffalo, it's in the backfield. And as a result, Orton is having to toss it to Boobie Dixon, who does have enough for the first down to the 31-yard line. He's had 9 different receivers, Kyle Orton, in today's game. Generally speaking, he'd love to be handing off a lot more to 2 guys that are now not available.
Boobie Dixon getting the ball out of the swing, out of the backfield. Normally that would be Fred Jackson in that position, but Boobie Dixon showing his versatility.
There's Dixon again out ahead for 4 yards. You know, Bryce Brown is not able to go, Peter Schrager. I'm guessing at this point, Doug Marone's thinking about the guy that he doesn't have available.
Yeah, you know, you're down all these running backs, and Boobie Dixon's going to be the guy today, but thinking long-term, they traded a 4th-round pick back at the draft to bring in Bryce Brown, who was with the Eagles the last couple of years, so he might be the guy to look for next week. But in the meantime, Tim, it's the Boobie Dixon show.
Yeah, it is. 2nd and 7. Summers is the fullback. He'll lead Dixon to about the 36, 37-yard line. Griffin, among others, and on the pile for Minnesota.
Boobie Dixon with the counter play right there. Backside guard pulls. The fullback comes through and he pulls. Dixon doing a good job today. He had 14 rushes on the season. Today, he has 12.
By the way, his alma mater was off yesterday, but I've told everyone in the locker room understands Mississippi State is number 1 in some polls. He's letting them know. On 3rd and 4. That pass is caught at midfield. Beautiful crossing pattern to Chris Gregg, the tight end, 2 years out of Arkansas.
4-man pass rush, a little stun up the middle. Orton has the protection he needs. Gregg makes the reception with Anthony Barr in tight coverage. This is a good throw, good catch.
14 yards on the reception.
Barr's getting his fair share of the work today as well.
Minnesota is taking the crowd out of this, but Buffalo, if they can get something going here, now we're going to be heard from after the interference penalty against Griffin that's coming up against the tight end, Lee Smith.
The bad thing about it is Smith wasn't even looking for the ball.
I think that's what Emerson's talking about.
Defense, number 97.
Yeah.
5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
That was some type of busted play. I don't know what happened, but it looked a little bit awkward. Smith wasn't looking for the ball. Orton threw it to him for one reason or the other, and it resulted in a penalty. First down.
From the 44-yard line of Minnesota. Haven't heard from Watkins in a while, have we? A steady diet of Boobie, that's for sure. Nothing there this time. Captain Mullerley making the tackle.
In those plays in the flat, you see they keep going there early and often. Last time it resulted in a first down, but now it results in a negative play. The defense is starting to heat up. 2nd and long.
2nd and 13 to be exact. And you keep thinking, they're making them stretch the field, the width of the field. When do they take their shot with Watkins? Davis. Dixon, I should say, burrows down to about the 44-yard line. And Booby's looking a little winded now. He hasn't had this many carries in a long, long time in the game.
He's got his hands on his hips right now. He's breathing hard.
Like a basketball player at the free throw line. He's played all 40 minutes.
Showing pressure up the middle.
On 3rd and 10. Got more pressure. They got him again. Sharif Floyd, 73.
Booby Dixon was absolutely winded. He didn't pick up his guy in the middle. Floyd just comes off the edge. You see all these guys at the line of scrimmage. Floyd just drives back. Cordy Glennon takes the sack.
That was a tired attempt at a block by Dixon. He completely whiffed in protection there. Charles is back deep inside the 10, awaiting the punt. Golden Schmidt. High, short punt. Charles with a fair catch at the 22. Well, at this stage, Minnesota just needs to see the clock go tick, tick, tick.
This game is sponsored by Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online.
Tuesday on Fox, the Fall Classic begins. The San Francisco Giants continue their quest, going for their 3rd championship in the last 5 years. They head to Kansas City to take on the amazing Royals, who will look to stay unbeaten in these playoffs. Coverage of the World Series begins Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Those are the probables, Baumgartner and Shields. And here, Bridgewater's pass is batted down by Mario Williams. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Minnesota.
Fortunate for the Buffalo Bills, Mario Williams batted that ball down. I believe it was Chase Ford in the flat off of the play action, was wide open. It would have been at least a 7 or 8 yard gain on the play.
Interesting to me that they would come out with that particular play call with the clock on their side and the lead with them. McKinnon dots the I. This is a little bit more of what you expect on 1st down. And now they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long in a passing situation for Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, this defense is teeing in. They had 2 sacks on the last possession. You want to slow down that defensive line, so I understand the call with the play action. But yes, with the clock, you definitely want to run the ball and put them in that situation where you're just facing time and the opportunity not to win the game by the clock running down.
Crowd is on their feet. What a marvelous town this is for the National Football League. And they're so happy to know that the future is bright with the new ownership of the Pagula family. Out pattern complete. That's Jennings, 1st down. A big one. And the veteran has come up with quality play after play.
What I like is they left Chase Ford in the backfield to double up on Jerry Hughes with Matt Khalil. Jennings runs a nice route right here. You see the double team here. Jennings runs the nice out, picks up the 1st down on Roby. Now this offense is able to chew up a little bit more time.
5.5 and counting. McKinnon. Gaping hole at another 1st down. Out to the 48-yard line. You know, it's interesting, Brendan, when you think about it, if you're max protecting and you need help chipping guys coming off the edge, you can only put a couple of extra guys. You really have to count on guys like Patterson and Wright and Jennings to be so very good because there are only 2 or 3 guys out in pass patterns.
That was a huge block right there on Ellison. He was blocking number 53, the linebacker. Bradham opened up that gaping hole in the C gap and rattled off a nice big run. A team that doesn't give up first downs or running the ball for that matter.
And we're going to have too much time again.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Second time that's happened to the rookie Bridgewater today. They're very patient with him. And they should be, because Teddy is one of those guys that you know is like a human sponge. He'll take in all the help that he gets. He couldn't stop talking about the help that he's gotten from his backup, Christian Ponder. Been like an extra quarterback coach for him. And of course, North's son is the quarterback coach. Scott Turner. That handoff went to Jared McKinnon. You spend 10, 15 minutes with Teddy Bridgewater and you're immediately sold on the kind of leader that you know he'll be.
The thing I can appreciate about Teddy Bridgewater is he puts the onus on himself. He doesn't put on his offensive line, his running backs, or his wide receivers. He always looks at himself in the mirror and says, what can I do for this football team to make us win football games and make us a better football team?
2nd and 14. Looking long. Patterson. Well, he tried to extend. Good coverage from McKelvin, who's got 2 interceptions today, and it falls incomplete.
He just overthrew him. One thing that Norv Turner talked about Teddy Bridgewater when he drops back. He has a strong arm. He said his arm is only going to get stronger. Right here, you see the pass to Patterson. It's just out of his reach. But as he matures, he said the best thing you can do for a quarterback is to not throw the ball too hard or too long. He just missed right there. And as he matures, he will develop a better long ball in time.
Well, only a few times that they've asked him to take a full 4 or 5 step drop. Most of it has been quick outs, slip screens, and the like. And here, the rookie decides to carry it himself. And he gets it into Buffalo territory to the 48-yard line, which does help in terms of field position to pin Buffalo back. And with the way the Vikings defense has been playing against this crippled Buffalo offense minus its 2 best backs, that was an important play right there.
Absolutely, we talked about it. There's a few things you needed to pack in your tool shed. One is your run game. They have 151 yards on the ground so far, and your defense as well as your offensive line. The Vikings are executing.
McKelvin will hope for the best that this one will roll into the end zone. The Bills will have it. 3:07 and 2 timeouts left. Down by 6. We're in this predicament because of turnovers. Hogan had 1. Woods had another. Orton's thrown a pick, and he's also fumbled the football. Those 4 turnovers really the difference in this game. They trail by 6 as they begin play, and this quick crossing pattern, shallow cross, is connected to Robert Woods. Chad Greenway making the tackle, number 52. They've gotten 30 plays and more from him today, coming off that rib injury that had him on the inactive list a week ago. 2nd and 7. Orton again, this time to the tight end, Scott Chandler.
Now that's a great play call right there. The Vikings have been showing this defense with A penetration, A pressure the whole game. Right here, Anthony Barr's in the A gap. They get Chandler out wide. He has to go all the way across from one A gap to the other and cover Chandler in the flat, which is a very tough job. You can't let a disguise get in the way of you covering your man. And now they're back to the A gap pressure once again.
Yellow lady! Yellow lady! Hey! 22 for Mike! The lady! Lift up!
Orton is flushed from the pocket. Floyd in hot pursuit, and he gets rid of it outside the tackle box. Sharif Floyd, 73, providing that pressure. Can Kyle Orton, as a starter in this league, get above the 500 mark? In 72 games start, coming into today, he was 36 and 36.
That's the exact position you want to get Kyle Orton in. He's a straight drop back passer. When he has to improvise on plays when he has to run, leave the pocket. He's the guy that's probably going to throw the ball out of bounds or take the sack. Great job by the Vikings defense.
Hard to sign a guy on August the 29th and have him up to speed to take over as he did a couple of weeks ago with that win over Detroit and not skip a beat. Over the middle and caught. We were wondering when we'd hear from Watkins. We just did. 19 yards and a first down in midfield.
Looked like Watkins ran a deep in on the play. Come across the field. You expect the linebacker to be in that void. Nobody was there. The safeties come down and make the play. Huge first down for Sammy Watkins.
Dixon back in the game as we approach the 2-minute warning. Orton in traffic and thrown down. Linval Joseph. So another sack for Minnesota. And it's a negative yardage play, and we're under 2 minutes left. In a game where ball control really does matter statistically, Minnesota's had the better of it. Buffalo now facing a 2nd and 17 after that sack by Linval Joseph. Out of the shotgun. Trying to get some of it back, and Chandler dropped it. The ball was a little out in front, but that's one I know he feels he should have had.
He definitely should have had that. Anthony Barr, rookie linebacker in coverage. He had him beat. You have to just pull that in. We saw that same defense from the Vikings. I think they smell a little bit of blood in the water. George Edwards, Mike Zimmer going back to that bare front with the A-gap pressure. Let's see if they can exploit this offensive line from the Buffalo Bills once again.
Well, 3 out of 10 on third down conversions. Their best of the day was 3rd and 6. This is a 3rd and 17 that faces them. Orton again. Sacked again, this time at the 40. And it's Tom Johnson, 92, the first to get there. He had a lot of help.
The pressure's coming. You see Barr coming right through the middle. Everybody's busting through that offensive line. They can't hold it tight, and they get their 6th sack of the game.
This is big, 4th and 20. He lets it go. Chandler's got it. First down. He atones for the drop.
What a huge play. Greenway on the coverage. Chandler at 6'7", the huge tight end right here running down the middle of the field. Greenway has to stay on his hip. He can't let the tight end get on top of him. Chandler bends the ball in, makes it a nice clean read and throw for Kyle Orton. That is a veteran savvy play that they haven't had in a long time here in Buffalo.
You just think of all of the quarterbacks that they've had in this organization in recent years. There's the previous play, the one that he missed. And that would have gotten about 2/3 of the 17 yards back. But boy, does he make up on a seam route with the tight end for 24 yards. Big time play. And Orton was under a lot of pressure. No denying that this veteran out of Purdue is a big-time quarterback. And Chandler, his favorite target at tight end, atoned for the mistake. From the 36. And we've got...
Who was it?
Yep, it's going to be procedure, I think, the false start against Buffalo.
Might have been Chris Hogan.
False start offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Chantrell Henderson, right tackle, rookie, 7th round pick out of Miami. Movement looked awfully simultaneous, didn't it? Could have easily been offsides. On 1st and 15. Watkins, pass thrown just behind him, incomplete.
Credit that to the pressure. Once again, Sharif Floyd putting the pressure on. You see Sammy Watkins was wide open, but Orton gets absolutely obliterated on the play.
Let me say this too. Watkins saved an interception. If he doesn't get his left hand on the ball, it's picked off.
The interesting thing is that the Vikings, now they're showing the A-gap pressure. When Chandler converted on 3rd down, they didn't have that defense. Now they're going to that defense solely.
On 2nd and 15. Shallow cross to Hogan to the 38-yard line. Look at this play again now. Watkins knows he can't catch it, but he does get a hand on it. If he doesn't, Robert Blanton, 36, picks that off. That's an interception, and it's ball game.
Now I'm looking at the matchup with Chandler. Who has Chandler?
3rd and 12. There's the crossing pattern. Watkins, first down, Buffalo. Timeout, Bills.
Robinson on the tackle. A nice inside release. He's beat right off the bat. Let's go to the replay. You see the crossing route. Woods goes out. Watkins comes in.
2 seconds on the clock.
And Orton is excited. In these types of situations, I like to run a banjo defense. You just bracket the 2 receivers. Whoever is on the outside of the play, you take the guy coming out. When one guy comes out, the other guy comes in.
Put him on a rubber band, huh? 7 career fourth quarter comes back. You think about it, Orton, this would be monumental for this organization. They need this game. I mean, they're 3-3, a game behind New England, a young and talented team, but bruised and battered today without their 2 best backs. Spiller went down after a 53-yard run. Jackson, their most consistent player, went out prior to that. And this hungry Vikings team has flipped the script on quarterback sacks and are +2 in the turnover category, trying to get a road win, a much-needed road win for them. Orton lofting it.
Miscommunication.
Yep, that time Chandler was running in. The pass went out. Kyle did not want to absorb a sack. You see the... Oh, here it comes. So we are going to get a late flag.
Intentional grounding, perhaps.
Well, that looked like a miscommunication to me. I agree with you. I think he thought that his tight end was running an up and away.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 18. There was no receiver in the area.
The thing is, because
correction, ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, and there's a 10-second runoff and a loss of down.
And he was not.
Take the clock from 37.
You see the tackle.
Yeah. Listen, I have no problem with the fact that he's inside the tackle box, but it appeared as though the tight end was running a route that was not. Chandler's running a route that's just maybe not the one that Orton expected.
But correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there needs to be a receiver within 5 yards of the ball. But tough break. A dangerous defense right there by the Minnesota Vikings.
Very tough break for Buffalo. And it was a late flag, too. Orton with a pump fake going for Hogan. He's got it at the 1-yard line. And they are hurrying to the line of scrimmage. Time winding down. Tick, tick, tick at 7. He'll have to spike it. He does. How about this catch from Hogan? Against Xavier Rhodes.
Back shoulder, tight coverage on Rhodes. He puts it in the only place that Hogan can get the ball, and Orton is excited. We are down to the wire.
One play to win it. What do you think?
Sammy Watkins.
Ruby Dixon is the lone setback. They did have the timeout left. The Vikings take one defensively. They want to figure it out.
Minnesota, that's their first. It's a 30-second timeout.
They're unsure themselves, and that gives Orton a breather. They've converted a 4th down in this series. They've overcome sacks, 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs. And you see the road record and the misery index for Minnesota as a result. When I talked to Doug Marrone yesterday, and I've known him a long time since he was an assistant coach with the New Orleans Saints, he said, yeah, this is the kind of game we got to take care of business. This organization long-term is in great shape, but immediately our currency is about winning and winning now. Ball at the 2, 5 ticks remaining. Hogan is the favorite target in the red zone, but Dixon the lone setback. He is looking to Watkins. He's got it. Touchdown, Buffalo. Great call by you, partner, 2 plays ago. You said Watkins from the get-go.
He's your man. He's your number 1 receiver. First-round draft pick. They traded up from the 8th to the 4th spot, I believe, to get him, and he's paying off.
Well, we opened today seeing the Hall of Famer Jim Kelly shake the hand of Teddy Bridgewater to say welcome to the National Football League in your first road game. Well, the youngster just got schooled by another veteran, Kyle Orton, proving that years in this league at the mission-critical position plays a big role in victory and defeat.
Orton has always come up big in big games. Like I mentioned before his rookie year, he went 10-5 as a rookie. This drive, Orton has 24 yards on 4th down. He picked up.
He also converted an 18-yarder on a 3rd and 12, a 28-yarder on a 2nd and 20. Now you add that up, that is clutch.
Yeah, Orton is on fire. He's done a great job. And the offensive line finally got it together, and they blocked for him the last minute of this drive.
Can't say enough about the play by Chandler, who made that big catch after he had dropped a crossing pattern to come back and make the big play on 4th and 20. Just remarkable. We'll have bonus coverage of the Saints and Lions coming up immediately after we're done. That's a close one, and they go on sides. And we have a rugby play here to close it out. Cordero Patterson's got it at this moment, looking for some help and getting it. They'll have to keep it alive, and it's over. The Buffalo Bills get that elusive victory. For Brendan Ironbadejo and Peter Schrager, this is Tim Brando. So long from Ralph Wilson Stadium. The Bills win by 1. Let's get to Kurt Menefee in our Los Angeles studios.